Hello and welcome to another Orange Coast College mathematics video. In this video, we're going to learn to add and subtract fractions. Now, I'm going to assume before we begin that you're comfortable simplifying fractions and that you can find the least common denominator of two fractions, which is really just the least common multiple of their denominators. Now, adding and subtracting fractions, if they have the same denominator, it's fairly simple to do. If two fractions have the same denominator, then you simply add up their numerators and you put that over their common denominator. Then simplify it, and you're done. If the two fractions have different denominators, it's a little bit trickier. You first have to find the least common denominator. Once you've found the least common denominator between the two fractions, then you convert each to an equivalent fraction with that least common denominator. And now you'll have two fractions with the same denominator, and so you just do it as we did before. Example 1, we want to add 11/24 plus 5/24. Well, so they have the same denominator, so we simply add the numerators together. So 11 plus 5 is 16. And then they have the same denominator, so we put that over the common denominator. The last thing we have to do here is simplify. So the greatest common factor of 16 and 24 is 8. So I can write this as 2 times 8 over 3 times 8, and then the common factor of 8 cancels, leaving us with 2/3 as our final answer. Example 2, we want to take 17/30 and subtract 2/5. So now we do not have a common denominator, so we need to figure out what is the least common denominator, which is the least common multiple of the denominator. So that's of 30 and 5. So the least common multiple of 30 and 5 would be 30, since 5 divides into 30 evenly. So the last thing to do here is we have to just write each fraction as an equivalent fraction over 30. So 17 over 30 is already fine. Now, how do I write 2/5 as an equivalent fraction whose denominator is 30? Well, to get 30 in the denominator, I would multiply the denominator by 6. But if I only did that, that would change the fraction. 2 over 30 is not the same as 2/5. So what I do is I simply multiply the numerator by 6 as well. Now all I've really done here is I've multiplied 2/5 by 1, which is not changing it. So this becomes 17 over 30 minus 12 over 30, which is, of course, 5 over 30. And 5 and 30 have a common factor of 5. So you can cancel it out. When you remove the 5 from the 5 in the numerator, you have 1 left over. And when I cancel out the 5 from the 30, I'll have 6 left over. My final answer is 1/6. Here's our final example. -1/12 minus 7 over 20. So the first step, since they do not have the same denominator, is to figure out what is the least common denominator. So the smallest multiple of both of them is 60. All right, 12 goes into 60 evenly, 20 goes into 60 evenly. So I need to write these both as a fraction over 60. So for -1/12, the way I can do that is by multiplying the denominator by 5. So if I multiply the numerator and denominator by 5, I'll have an equivalent fraction whose denominator is 60. And then for 7/20, if I multiply the denominator by 3, that would make it 60. So we multiply both the numerator and denominator by 3. That way we're only multiplying by 1. All right, if we do this, we end up with -5 over 60 minus 21 over 60. And so -5 minus 21 is -26 over 60. And now there's a common factor of 2 between 26 and 60. So this is -2 times 13 in the numerator, and it's 2 times 30 in the denominator, so I can cancel out that common factor of 2. And that leaves us with -13 over 30. Whether you put the negative sign sort of out in front or in the numerator, it doesn't really matter. In any case, though, that's our final answer. So that's adding and subtracting fractions. My guess is if you're having problems with this, it might be that you're having trouble finding the least common denominator or converting into equivalent fractions with the least common denominator. So maybe go back and practice that. Until next time, have fun.